stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Hello. Hello again, my friend. Hello. I forgot to let other people know I was live. I did this in the wrong order. You gotta go back here. Copy that. Whoops. Darn it. I got another one open. Actually, I think I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that today. People join me, great. Oh no, the oh. Yeah, I just feel like I'm bugging people. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'll just wait till the 3-minute mark and stuff. That I think a lot of my listeners are out of town. So it looks like I booked 3 people, but one's only really booked. So you can only count one. Because speakers will, it's tough because you want to tell your story, but there's a fear, and I get it, which is why I created the podcast. Unfortunately, other people come on the playing field, and our podcast is much different than any other podcast I've ever seen. I don't know why the hosts of these podcasts need to be the center of attention the whole time, but no, do something like this and get your center of attention out of the way. When you interview somebody, it's not about you. Not about you. Right? We make our podcast about the person. I do. I'll tell you a couple of my tricks. I'm getting a back scratcher. One of the best inventions in the world. The back scratcher. Once you turn 40, I can need one of these. And then your grandchildren will steal them. Oh, you did not want to hear that one. All right. Yeah, so I don't think anybody's really going to show up, which is fun. But we're talking about Tradition 7. I actually didn't read Out of Courage to Change, and I thought they had some great points in this. So, but welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. If you're here, please say hello. You never know when somebody else might show up now. A lot of people have asked, not a lot. What would be a lot? I don't know. What's a lot to you might be different for me. It's kind of like when somebody says, I'll be over in a little bit. I don't know what that means, and it drives me fucking nuts because I plan things. Hey, Patricia's joining us.
Hi, Joe. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Patricia. We're not doing video, but hopefully the sound is coming through. It's good to have you on. I don't think I've ever heard your voice before.
Okay, I'm here.
Good. Well, yeah, this will be fun. So I'm reading from Courage to Change, Al-Anon, and the discussion has to do with money or time. But let's kind of get into the reading. I never thought much about Tradition 7 which says that every group ought to be fully self-supporting. I thought it referred only to paying the rent. Now when a group is self-supporting, it's more than money. It's a lot more than money. And that's why I put up the question, money or time. What are you willing to give? But recently, I was involved with a group that maintained itself financially and still was not fully self-supporting because nobody commit to service. Yeah, you've got to chair at some point. Go to the group conscious. How about you, Patricia? What kind of service work do you do in your meetings? You want to think on that? All right, I'll keep going. I think I'm confusing people with it. So this is a discussion. Feel free to be on. It's not easy. It's not easy. And anybody that's trying, I really appreciate it. I really do. And I get this. It says, I already held several positions, and when my various terms expired, no one was willing to take my place. I've been caught in that position recently. And I went to the group conscious and I said, I'm not doing this anymore in a month. I just can't. And then something had happened and I was forced to chair on a day that I just could not chair, but the meeting needed to go. And I left. Right. So I left because I'm like, they kind of pissed me off. So I left for a little bit. I'm back at the group. But, when people aren't willing to take things over, it went from being 7 days a week. It went to being 7 days a week. I'm going to do something here real quick because Patricia's awesome. All right. That bloop means. All right, we trying it again, Patricia? I'm also, Patricia, I'm going to send you the link to just listen if you want to and not necessarily be a part of if it's not quite working for you. So it says you're here. But yeah, so I had stepped down and it was every day of the week. But then they made the decision, they had an emergency group conscience. Nobody was willing. So so what they did was they just took it down to 3 days. And that was pretty disappointing. If you want to go to AA and you enjoy your AA groups, you've got to participate, not just by raising your hand and speaking in the meeting, chairing, hosting, co-hosting. There are things that need to be done. If it is a Zoom group, there probably isn't as much service, but an in-person group it takes a tribe. Okay. And we all know about the 80-20 rule that 20% of the people do 80% of the work. Okay. Well, I'm going to let you know that we work with what's called a trinity, which is our triangle. And the triangle is the best. Oh, that was weird. Yeah, and is your sound not working now? Maybe I should set this up a little bit better. And have people test the links and stuff too. So, yeah, so if we feel like we're just doing ourselves any good by just throwing a couple dollars in the basket, hoping that'll help. No. If you're picking money over time, I'll tell you what it costs to run a Zoom meeting. It costs me $14 a month. That's it. It doesn't cost me any more than that. That's how much my Zoom costs. $14. It doesn't need money. It needs support. It doesn't need money. AA's free. You're not required to put anything in the basket. And we're still only putting $1 in there. I've been going to AA for 30 years. It's still $1. Throw $5 in there for God's sakes. I know we're all broke, man. Okay? Those in-person meetings, they require both money and time. Okay? And as a member of AA, I have to provide both. Okay? I don't get to donate very often. Most of my money goes to things like this, so I can continue helping people. Okay? But I don't have a job. I don't have a job that pays money. I get paid a different way. I made what I felt like was a reasonable, responsible choice for myself and stepped down anyway. The meeting closed. In my opinion, a group that cannot fill its own service position is not fully self-supporting. They are correct. They are correct. If that meeting is not fully self-supporting, it's not an AA meeting. It cancels it out, which is kind of uncool, huh? Today, in other more flourishing groups, I have the greater appreciation of my responsibility to this tradition. I believe that as we nurture our groups, we nurture and empower ourselves. We can make a contribution. We can make choices that help us to allow healing in ourselves and others. I'm gonna have to start learning how to be responsible somewhere. AA is probably the best place for it. And I have done every single position in what a group would be. I've been the GSR. I've been the alternate GSR. Right now, I'm the what you call it for the central office. I'm the central office delegate for a group. I run meetings. I host meetings. I do all sorts of stuff. Okay. If readings need to be done at the 3 p.m. meeting, what I do there is I wait. And I always end up reading. There's 30 people there and none of them want to read. None of them have a big book. Why the fuck are you there? Why are you there? Okay? Because you ain't getting the slip signed. I know that because you ain't asking me. So what are you doing there? Who are we appeasing? Turn on your camera. Okay? I'm always in my pajamas. I'm in my damn pajamas right now. I'll come on here. My hair will be a mess. I haven't shaved in 2 weeks. I don't care. If you guys were here for my looks, you'd be here for the wrong thing, man. Right? Right? Okay. You smoke. Which is good because you can still listen here too. So, but what I would probably, if you want to try this again, what I would do when we're done is restart your device and then log in. I won't be here, but it'll still let you do it. And it'll say microphone and camera and hit allow. And that'll set it, and you can set it up. And I don't need to be here for that. So thank you for being my guinea pig and participating. I appreciate it more than you know, for even attempting. A lot of people don't even attempt. But you know what? People have been listening to me for so long that they don't mind coming on because they know I'm not going to put them in a position that's going to fuck around. I don't do that. No. One day, I hope there'll be 4 or 5 people here each time I do it, and we all just talk. That's what it's here for. That's all I'm doing. Today's reminder: there's more to maintaining a fully self-supporting Al-Anon group than just paying the rent. Yeah. And it's funny because I'm reading this and I think of the meeting at the church, and there's still nobody showing up to AA, but Al-Anon grows every week because they're fully self-supporting. See, at the moment, my meeting is not fully self-supporting. It's just me. And I've got like $50 and 7 steps sitting in my drawer just waiting to, I've got big books and I've got everything that I need for a meeting. I got 12 by 12s. A group helped me out investing. I've got pamphlets. I got newcomer packets. What we really need is an online or newcomer packet. All right. Where something just gets sent and then they have these pamphlets and everything for the newcomer. All right. Al-Anon group, Jim Moore, continuity of service is more important to our common welfare. Today, I will think about the contribution I am making to my home group. What actual contribution are you making? Because if you're just throwing money in the basket, I think you still got an alcoholic mind. We know you have time. You ain't drinking no more. We know you have time. I don't have time. Bullshit. I have a sponsee right now. I can only meet Mondays at this time. It's the only time he can meet. Sooner or later, something's going to happen. That's too closed-minded because the day we have right now ain't working. We haven't met in 3 weeks. Granted, he's done with the steps, but we need that consistency. If we don't keep that consistency, his life got good, but he forgot why it's good. He'll remember. God does things. He ain't gonna listen to me. I'm his sponsor. I already tried. He ain't gonna listen to me. So God's gonna take care of it. I just hope that he listens to God before the drink. Because in all other areas, he's doing fucking great. He's doing great. Not we at that point where things are great and we forget where we came from. And we all know what happens after that. All right. I can support my group in a number of ways. When the basket is passed, I can give what I can. Just as important, I can give my time and moral support to help make ours the kind of group I want to belong to. Alateen, a day at a time. Yeah, Alateen, man. I really like going into these. I like going into Al-Anon because I like Al-Anon because it's a little more straightforward. Sometimes it kind of pisses me off with their tough love, but at least they're being honest with me. That I can go for. Patricia, it worked. Can I hear you though? Try saying something.
Yes, I can hear you very well.
It works, and we can hear you. Was there anything you wanted to add to what we were talking about?
Yes, I believe that I needed to be true of our 3 legacies:
Yeah,
service, unity, and recovery. Because without that, my chances
yeah,
rise down.
yeah. Your chances go down when we're not involved in the
Yeah,
group. Yeah, because
yeah,
it's so easy to isolate and not be a part of. It's much easier to do that. I'm thinking here, what are some things that we can do? Because I've noticed when it comes to alcoholics, if you wait for them to volunteer, they'll say nothing. But if you ask them directly, like sometimes, like with the podcast, I ask people if they're willing to tell their story. And I say willing because they're not going to be unwilling. because we just don't want to do that, right? So I think maybe what we need to do is just start asking directly, and these people will, they'll say yes or no, but I think we kind of need to put them on the spot a little bit. You think that would help us at all? Maybe a little. So, um, let's, because it worked. I was going to wrap up, but let's go ahead and dig in a little bit to the seventh step or the seventh tradition. And what I'll do is just kind of go to the back. Um, let's see here. Actually, let's do the first couple paragraphs, and then we'll do the back. So, every AA group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. And I think because of the way that it's written, we automatically I think of money. That's all I think of. I don't think of being the GSR, the treasurer, or running the group. So maybe it's also the way it's kind of written. Self-supporting alcoholics. Who ever heard of such a thing? But yet, for 88 years, we've been doing it. Yet we find that we have to be. This principle is telling evidence of the profound change that AA has wrought in all of us. Everybody knows that active alcoholics scream that they have no troubles money can't cure. Always we've had our hands out. Time out of mind, we have been dependent upon somebody, usually money wise. When a society composed entirely of alcoholics says it's going to pay the bills, well, that's really news. So it is important that as an AA group we pay our rent. I hold my meetings in a church, and they actually do not charge me rent, but we give them 10% anyway. We just put it in the donation box. Um, and that's a good way to go. A lot of these times, the churches, you can meet in a park if you want to. You can meet over at somebody's home. There's a lot of different options. The library, they'll let you can have AA meetings at the library. They'll let you do it. Um, you just got to ask. But there's a lot of churches out there looking for AA meetings. So probably no AA tradition had the labor pains this one did. In early times, we were all broke, and AA's broke. AA is always broke. We're used to being broke. We don't. We what do we need money for? To send out information to people. That's really what we need it for. Um, when you aid, when you add to this habitual supposition that people ought to give money to alcoholics trying to stay sober, it can be understood why we thought we deserved a pile of folding money. What great things AA would be able to do with it. But oddly enough, people who had money thought otherwise. They figured it was high time we now sober paid our own way. So our fellowship stayed poor because it had to. And this leads back to group accountability. When a group is accountable for itself, then the people in the group grow as a group. And when you grow as a group of people, you can take your individual growth and times it by like 100. And that group of people can do amazing things in the community. We can get a lot of people sober. We can move mountains together. And that's where the real success comes in. Now, the problem is if the group isn't there and if it isn't being supported, then the person who's next will find they will go to an AA meeting and nobody will be there. And it happens more and more and more, especially with Zoom. The Everything AA app is kind of out of control. Um, so, but that's kind of what I had. Patricia, was there anything else you wanted to add?
You asked me in the beginning before the issue with my mobile. I
Okay.
do a lot of things. I do a lot of things here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I chair meetings. I sponsor. I Here we have a special movement
Okay.
to leave the message for women
Yeah.
because we have
Do you want to let people know where you're from?
I am from Brazil.
Brazil. Yeah. So now is in Brazil is AA, is it accepted? I mean, because I know in some countries they won't let you have AA. Is Brazil pretty open to AA and
Oh,
helping others? I don't know much.
we
Yeah.
we made the anniversary here yesterday.
Go wow,
Yes,
great job.
seven seven 77 years in Brazil.
Wow, 77 years. So and
Yeah,
AA's been around for 88 years. So only it took 11 years to get there and been going strong ever since. That's so
yes,
neat. That's so
yeah.
neat. And are the meetings pretty big or
Um,
I'm just
most
curious.
of my meetings are has a lot of people.
Does it? Yeah. I think that's
Yes,
so neat.
6 to 7, 8, 100 people in the meetings.
Wow. Wow.
Yes,
You're kicking our butt in Colorado then. A big meeting here is like 15 people now, So I think it's great that, you know, I think it's nice because maybe there you're not being inundated by, I know in the United States, there's always some newfangled way to get sober and everybody just clamors for it because it's all nice and shiny and an easier way. And it never works, you know. And then they come back to AA defeated again, and we have to go through the process. So I think it's neat that Brazil's just not letting that happen. Um, yeah.
online meetings just raise day by day,
Wow. Wow.
and a lot of women are coming, join us, and we are happy for that
That is
because
great.
used used to be a man fellowship.
Yeah. 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 You go to an AA meeting and be 20 men and one woman. And now you go to an AA meeting, half of them are women. And I think it's great.
Yeah.
And I think it has to do with the emotional sobriety that has come about. Um,
Yes.
the emotional sobriety is big for women, um, and and when a man finally understands it, it becomes something great for them too. So
Yes.
it makes me excited for Brazil. It makes me kind of want to move to Brazil so I can come and have fun there because yeah,
Here, please join us.
yeah.
You're
That's it. Well,
welcome. You're very welcome.
thank you, and but yeah, Patricia, it's been nice to talk to you because you and I have known each other for a few years now, but we've never talked. We've never sat down like this and talked. So this is neat.
Yes.
Was it kind of nerve wracking coming on? Were you kind of nervous to come on with me or
No,
good? Yay.
no.
Yay. I got friends everywhere, man.
I should. I should. I, I don't see a point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. Um,
I also work here with helplines.
you have helplines also? Yeah, we have helplines here also. But they're still kind of shaky. They're kind of government run, and
Oh
you know,
no, here's our AA
yes,
only.
they took that away from us here.
It's just work from others.
Yeah, yeah, you're talking 12-step calls, and
Yeah.
yeah, we now here. I mean, we just don't get many of them like we used to. Um, and things have changed. Now, if you're going to do a 12th step call, it's a group of people over the phone, maybe Zoom. I missed that 2 o'clock in the morning phone call. hey, I got to go meet another guy, go across town and sit in some guy's apartment because he wants to get sober, and you're there till 3 in the morning, and then you drive him to detox, and you go pick him up and you sponsor him. I miss those days, and a lot of alcoholics don't get to experience it, and it is one of those experiences I don't think you should miss, doing 12-step calls.
Yes,
Yeah.
if that.
There's some things that should not be changed, and that is one of them. Because an alcoholic, the loneliness that we go through, man, we need that other alcoholic. I have found it's the only way. That and God. Thank you for coming on, and I hope you do it again. Patricia's joined me, Daryl, Jimmy tried earlier. These are all people with more sobriety than me, and I'm glad that we're going to have people coming on with different experience. I think that's so important. I have my experience, but it's not the only one. And somebody's experience may be different, and that's what gets them. Great. I don't need to be the one. But if we all continue to work towards that common goal, we'll make it. We're already making a difference, a bigger difference than I even know. So anytime somebody comes on and helps, it just makes it better. I love it. Thank you, God. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate you. It's kind of weird when you're on here and I'm doing the ending, huh? Because you want to be like, okay, yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. Peace
Bye.
out. And